And we are live. What's up, guys? Hope your weekend went well. I wanted to make this quick video for the next 20 minutes because I've had many questions pertaining to this title of this video, our ICO scam. So my hope and my attempt in this video is to talk about where we are currently, how the market views the ICOs, and where I believe that we're heading in the next 6 months, and also maybe heading in the next year. Also, some house cleaning notes, like always. If you hear me, if my mic's okay, please put in the chat box, yes, you can hear me, because sometimes these mics don't actually connect properly with YouTube Live for some weird various reasons. So I'm assuming you guys can hear me okay. That's good. Okay, so let me just double check one thing. Okay, we are good. So there's a couple of things I do want to start off this conversation with. A couple of things to take into consideration. Right now, we are probably in the biggest bull run ever in the cryptocurrency landscape. I don't even know. I haven't checked today, tell you the truth. Let's see. I don't really check numbers on a day-to-day basis. Total, what is it? North of $600 billion, roughly. So we are approaching $600 billion, and we are ending off 2018 within 2 weeks. I would not, honest to God, I would not be surprised if somehow it got pumped to $1 trillion. That would not shock me. But obviously, we're off to $1 trillion market cap. Some people are saying $2 trillion by February and March. That's a lot of money entering this ecosystem, and there's a lot of issues with that. But we're not going to be talking about just cryptocurrency today. I specifically want to focus on ICOs, because in the last 6 months, give or take, there has been more than $2 billion raised in ICOs. Now, one of the first, not the first, but one of the first was Ethereum. It raised, I think it was like 18 was it 18 or 40? I forget the actual figure, but it raised via Bitcoin. This is my takes on ICOs right now. I believe we are in an evolutionary phase. Like any technology and like any organism, it has to start somewhere. And right now it's starting off in this very chaotic ecosystem where a lot of new players are coming in, and they're viewing the ICO space as just raising capital, which is not. That's not what ICOs are about. It can be, and I will be getting to that in a second, talking about the evolutionary let's say evolutionary stages of ICOs. It can be, but we're not there yet. And the problem today I see in the ICO space are this. Number one, most of these ICOs are claiming their utility token. I've probably only seen 2 out of, I don't know, hundreds of white papers I've read. That's the first thing. So a lot of them are trying to escape security regulations. At the end of the day, they don't even need a token. So that's the first thing. They're promising to be promising to be a utility when they're not. They're just straight security. Number 2, they're using a token and they're using blockchain when it's not needed. It's very rare that you actually need a blockchain in your business, that blockchain technology 10x, 20x, or even 100x's your business. It's really rare. There's rare cases that when you use it, it's a massive amplifier and it maximizes the efficiency of the total network. Blockchains are slow. Blockchains are horrible at storing data. They're horrible at refund policies when it comes to, like, say, e-commerce. They're horrible at a lot of things. A lot of these new, say, dApps or ICOs are saying they want to do by blockchaining it. And that's really troublesome for me because the technology is not meant for that. Number 3, there's a huge issue when it comes to actually technical people in the space. Now, best figures put it around 400 to 700 legitimate full stack blockchain devs around the world. And people who really understand crypto economics, it's probably a handful of people. And now you have all these ICOs who've raised billions of dollars that don't have talent. And we see it at BlockGeeks every day. We get emailed every day looking for developers, which we're trying to solve the problem by creating online curriculum and helping companies actually fill in those positions for developers. But that's a massive problem when you have all these companies who've raised millions of dollars that have zero human capital, not just developers, people who understand the space, okay? Next issue is timing. When you look at a bunch of these ICOs, they're kind of a joke, to tell you the truth. They're trying to solve this magic problem that doesn't really exist today, that nobody really actually wants to, let's say, fix at the end of the day. And their business model is horrendous because they're focusing on speculation. What kind of business model is speculation? Right? So there's a lot of issues right now, massive issues. We can go down the rabbit hole talking about security, who audits their code. We can talk about how the wallets are built. But generally speaking, my biggest issue is 99% of these companies don't need a token whatsoever. I know I'm not looking at the camera. Camera's over here. If you guys want me to look, but I like it on the side. Okay. So the issues is they don't need a token whatsoever, like period. Number two, they're raising an obscene amount of money, which they don't need. Like even if you look at traditional angel investing, you have a pre-seed round, then you have a Series A, then you have a Series B. And within the pre-seed round, you're allocated, let's say, $500,000 to prove your concept, to get product market fit, to build up your team. And once you have your team in place, eventually raise a Series A, which is anywhere between $1 million and $5 million to go in the next stage. And when you're seeing the companies today raising millions and millions of dollars, they have no, let's say they have no legal requirements to do anything for you. They have no obligations for you. And pretty much you're giving them money to blow on, let's say, nothing. So there's massive issues. It's ridiculous. Okay. But, this is part of a natural ecosystem. And it's happened with the IPOs back in the 90s. So it's no different, where shell companies, where people have promised all these ridiculous promises in companies. And at the end of the day, well, guess what? They don't deliver because it's bogus. It's vaporware. It's people doing IOU promises. So, it's a massive, massive issue right now in the ICO space. And you see there's ICO saturation. You actually see that a lot of people are getting fed up right now. And in fact, the majority of them right now that have launched haven't even hit their 50% mile mark. So the market is self-regulating and the market is fed up. So those are my issues with it. And obviously there's massive more issues, and we can focus on each different issue that I spoke about and go down the rabbit hole on that. Where we'll be going in the future is interesting, because a lot of these companies right now, they assume it's for raising money, which is not, but it could be. So in the future, I actually see, if you really want to do a token, number one, if it is a utility token, if it's one of those rare use cases that it is, you got to be open source code, mandatory, no private code, mandatory open source code. That's A. B, you have to be very, very close to launch date of your utility token. So it's not one of these ICOs where, like, I'm going to raise money now in the hopes of in 2 years we launch this utility token. No. And if you don't have the runway cash currently, then you can do something like a SAFT or raise a small angel round of 500K to give you runway until you actually build up your technology for an ICO. So open source code, and very, very close to launching the actual utility before the ICO. Number three is something that Vitalik and a TrueBit team was working on, is an interactive coin offering, which is very interesting. It creates a very unique, dynamic way of raising tokens, which are locked up and vetted with the users of that ecosystem. So just say, let's say you do get $2-3 million raised on the ICO. Well, you don't get it right away. And it's very akin and similar to how the Series A, B, and C would be, where only way you can receive more funds is if the community all votes in favor of, if you've accomplished your, let's say, high priority tasks in your roadmap, right? So those are three things: open source, right? Really close to production ready, and interactive coin offering. Now, it's not mandatory interactive coin offering. I think it's one of the best, let's say, models and methods I've seen so far when it comes to an ICO. And then on the flip side, people who are just looking to raise money, let's say, that would be a securities. Don't kid yourself. Listen, don't kid yourself. Your token is not a fucking utility. Your token doesn't do something special in your app. You know what I mean? The whole idea of like forcing a person to use a token inside your ecosystem is insane. Does Facebook force us? Does Twitter force us? We're on YouTube right now. Imagine if YouTube forced you to use a token. It doesn't work that way, right? But token that represents equity, or token that represents maybe some royalty rights, or token that represents dividends, or let's say some payout returns in the future, that's a security. And you will go through the proper procedures to get regulated and to register your security and to give optionalities for accredited investors and also angel rounds or angel pools, I would say, for non-accredited people, which is under the Jobs Act. Now, what's great about this, for example, I'm an angel investor, and you got two ways of exiting a company. Well, three, but two are the most, let's say, what you want. Number one is acquisition, which is obviously really, really rare. And that usually takes 5 to 8 years on average. And number two is an IPO, which is ridiculously rare. Like, it's not going to happen. If it does, you're like one of the unicorns. And number three that I mentioned, which is really rare as well, is you can sell your shares to your partners. But most angel investors invest anywhere between, like, say, $15,000, $35,000. And the actual legal cost of selling your shares to your other shareholders is really costly, and it brings a lot of legality issues when it comes to shareholders agreement. It brings a lot of legality issues for ownership in the corporations and voting rights. Now imagine having a token that represents equity in a smart contract that just you and your partners have. This isn't in the public, this is private, where your token will increase in value privately based on the revenue and the performance of that company. So let's say there's four of us, and all four of us invest $25,000 for a total of $100,000. And that token represents $25,000 of equity that you put in the company. Now let's fast forward 5 years, and let's say that $25,000 of your original investment is worth maybe, I don't know, $500,000 based on the increase in the company. Now you have the optionality between your shareholders with the original smart contract agreement to automatically sell them that token instantaneously, which is amazing. This is a win-win relationship for both investor and founders of the company. So that's where I think we're going to eventually go, and we're going to obviously see different iterations and variations of that. But if you are planning on doing an ICO as a utility, you must be open source. You must have almost literally right at the finish line, production ready ecosystem, and you would have a lockup periods with the interactive coin offering. And then we flip that around to iterate again. If it's a token for raising money, it will be equity driven, or it will be some type of revenue sharing or royalty right sharing, tied up privately speaking, fully regulated as a securities. So those are my initial takes right now. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I really believe that the space right now is going through an evolutionary process, and there's a lot of scams out there. And it's not like they know they're scams. They just have no idea what they're doing, and they really believe that a blockchain token will help their business. And my humble opinion, I literally believe 98.9% of these tokens eventually will go to zero. They will be worthless very soon. And a lot of these ICOs have raised ridiculous amounts of money that have runway cash for 2 years, will burn their cash within the next year and a half or year, and they will show nothing for it. This is regular startup scene. It happens all the time. But now we're going to have a proliferation of it, globally speaking, in the ICO scene. So that's where I stand right now. So what I'm going to do right now is take some questions with you guys, and we will start off with, okay, let's see. What is a utility token from Jack Mehoff? Ethereum is a utility token. 0x project is a utility token. Cosmos is a utility token. Spang Chain is a utility token. Those are some examples. So Robert, is it necessary to have an ICO to create a currency for a blockchain-based game, or can you just use something like Ether directly? Yeah, that's actually one of my first questions. It's a great question, Robert. One of my first questions to people who want to do an ICO is, why can't you just use Ether, Monero, or Bitcoin? Why do you need to create your own token? Why? And 99% of the time, they can't answer that question. So it's all for the money. Do I think most tokens are useless in the long run? Yes, I think 98% of tokens are useless. Yes, I'm very bullish, guys, on decentralized cryptocurrencies like Monero, like Bitcoin. I know some people say Ethereum is not, but I say Ethereum. They serve a purpose. They have a great dev team. This is really important to pay attention to that. Then what is a security token? So this is from Ironworks. A security token is literally a token you raise for money, nothing else. It's no utility, serves no purpose in the ecosystem. Hence the security. Hence you as an investor have some equity or have some type of promissory payback for your investment, your initial investment. All right. Oh, these questions. Oh shit! These questions are moving fast. Robert, doing an ICO seems like a real pain, and watching companies do convoluted. Well, yeah, it is a pain. And mark my word, guys, the securities, SEC and OSC here in Ontario and a bunch of other securities commissions around the world will be investigating and arresting a lot of founders in 2018. You see the trouble with Tezos. You see the trouble with all these other ICO people getting arrested and actually going to jail. This will happen 10x in 2018. Mark my words. Guaranteed. Will I do a video comparing Ethereum, EOS, and Cardano? Maybe. That's a lot of work for me. Maybe I'll do it. Is there any other platform for ICOs other than Ethereum? Yeah. Bitcoin will have that with Rootstock. You can do it on Waves right now. You can do it on Ethereum Classic right now. You can do it on, I think you can do on, no, Cardano's not ready yet. You can do it on, what else? I forget. Those are on top of my mind right now. Any thoughts on token pay as an ICO? Token pay, I don't know what that is, so I can't comment on that. I've said this before. What is my prediction for Ethereum 2018? I won't make any prediction for pricing, but they are launching proof of stake. Well, first rounds of proof of stake, they'll run parallel chains with proof of work and proof of stake. Then every 100th epoch block will be a proof of stake block in the proof of work block. And then there'll be a hybrid between mainnet and testnet. And then they'll run that for a little bit till fully the proof of stake takes over the proof of work. So they're doing that. Pricing, who knows? I really don't know. Did I invest in IOTA? No. What's your opinion on people behind Cardano? Charles Cardano, former founder of Ethereum, the IHOK Foundation in Japan, I believe. They've hired amazing people who have PhD degrees in cryptography, and they are really taking this approach on mathematics and research first before just theory. I'm gonna say theory, but more or less just like marketing. So I wish them all the best. I'm actually paying a really close attention to Cardano, even though the market cap is fucking ridiculous. From Robert, is Truffle the best framework for making Ethereum smart contracts? I'm using Node.js for backend. Does BlockGeeks intend to focus heavily in providing trailing? Yeah, we already have it, Robert. If you go to our Ethereum 101 course under the developer option, we do it all there. And we just hired four full-time teachers to continue teaching in crypto economics, Ethereum, and other types of languages, whether Haskell for Cardano or maybe even Graphene, or obviously we are focusing on C++ with Bitcoin. Can I talk about Bitcoin Cash? Let the best party win? I've mentioned this a million times. Laissez-faire capitalism. I'm not against anybody. Let the best party win. Let the market speak. What is an interactive coin offering? Google it. Interactive coin offering, Vitalik and TrueBit. What is your take on Bitcoin? Same questions, guys. It's an open market. Anyone can do anything. Let the best product, the best use case, the best dev team win. That's it. That's it. Simple as that. It's not really more complicated. Quantum, why is it going up? I don't know. Maybe you can inform me why is it going up. I have no idea. How do I know Vitalik's father, which is my business partner? He lives in Toronto, and we have a very good entrepreneur community. So I know him way before crypto. Do you expect a crash during 2018? As you said, regulatory problems. I wouldn't call it a crash. I'll call it a self-regulating correction. And it's inevitable in any market. It's just going to happen. I just don't know when. What are my thoughts on EOS? Let's see it launch. So this is from Connor. Let's see the platform launch. They've raised a ridiculous amounts of money. They are running DPoS, so dedicated proof of stake, which there are some issues I see, but hopefully they have fixed those issues. Voting turnout is one issue. Master nodes, so 21 master nodes, another issue I have. Identifying those people, and actually you can, let's say, coerce people into doing things if you know who these master nodes are. There's some issues, but I'm pretty sure they're working on it. So I like to see it in action. That's it. What about Verge? I don't know anything about Verge, so I can't comment on that. Can I envision a day we'll be able to be a McDonald's with the option to pay in 10 different cryptos? No, not really. Listen, guys, like crypto for business is not the best. 99% of business is not the best at all. It's horrible for auditing. So like me hooking up to like QuickBooks or FreshBooks and dealing with the bank and dealing with taxes is horrible. Number two, it has to be instantaneous. Number three, there has to be chargebacks. Like I can't do that in crypto right now. So why would McDonald's do that? Hmm. This is an interesting question. What is the potential for a coin acquisition and merger, and how will that affect coin holders? One thing I've heard before, which is fascinating, is the probability of one blockchain acquiring another blockchain where they actually burn the tokens off. That's actually a probability. That'll be interesting. Do I think Bitcoin is ever going to be used as real currency for stores? Not at this given stage. Most people are hoarding it as a store of value as opposed to currency. It's very expensive to transact, and it takes a very long time. Now, Lightning Network may solve this, but there's issues with Lightning Network as well. So we are a while away before we actually see people use it. I have to see Lightning Network activated, and SegWit has to be more than 50% of the network. So we have a lot of work to do. Is Amazon planning to accept cryptos? I've been hearing that for 2 years. Maybe, maybe not. Could I guide you on trading crypto? No, I don't trade. I don't do stock predictions, or people call us fuck. I know I'm going crazy. I don't do price predictions. I don't do none of that stuff. I don't care about prices. I don't care about money in crypto at all. I'll tell you guys, I really, really don't care. I just care about working on cool technologies and solving real problems in the world, problems that need solving. Not about I'm gonna make you rich. That I don't give a flying fuck about that. Do I think side chains will be successful? Yes, I think side chains are very useful, and I'm excited to see some go out. Cosmos would be one, Polkadot's another one. Um, even you can expand to that from not just side chains, but second layer and third layer infrastructures on root chains. I'm very excited for those. Um, Given the ICO topic, if you're questioning their ability in the decentralized market, what other alternatives that provide open access to you? What? Given that I don't understand that question. Rephrase that question. I really don't get it. What problems do I think blockchain solves the best? Well, one, we still got to figure out remittances. So transfer of value from point A to point B. That's the first thing. Number two, digital identity, but not identity as your name is Amir or my name's Amir. Identity as in all your data. There's 2.1 billion unbanked. I don't care about the unbanked part. I care about controlling their data and utilizing their data for, whoa, lights went out. Figure this out. There we go. Where was I? Yeah, utilizing their data for the benefit of themselves. So that's massive for me, is controlling your own security data. Those are two big ones, like really, really big ones that need solving. Controlling your data with the blockchain and remittances. So transfer value from point A to point B still. And then everything else would be secondary after that. Name 3 cool dApps. Well, I'm going to talk about one. So CryptoKitties, forget the kitties for a second. The actual technology, I think it's like the ERC2, I forget what the code was called. But the idea of digitizing a unique, let's say, identity online is fascinating because it can be applied to so many things. Like take the kitties for a second away. This can be applied to tickets. So for example, tickets or like, Ticketmaster they have huge issues with fraud, like $1 billion of fraud. Imagine having the option of having a digitized ticket where only you have it. Imagine as an artist, that starving artist that, maybe you're getting ripped off on YouTube or whatever it may be, you can create unique digital, let's say artwork or digital whatever you want to do and sell it to your fans. And only those fans will ever have it. Imagine taking anything in your mind and digitizing it as a store of value or as a store of appreciation or as a store of wonder. And you can now commerce in that and trade with this asset online. So the technology itself is really fucking cool. ERC223, well, there it is, ERC223. Do I think we'll eventually see virtual countries? Maybe. I know Estonia, well, Estonia's not a virtual country, but I know they are pushing for digital passports on the blockchain. That'll be interesting too. When will I bring my new top 5 on the whiteboard? I won't. I'm not doing any of those anymore. I don't care about telling people anymore about what to buy or what I think. Like I said, guys, I have no ambitions of telling people how to make money. No ambitions of predictions. Like money for me and get rich quick and invest in this. Like that actually makes me sick. So fuck that. What do I think about governments regulating crypto? They will, and I think governments will have their own crypto. I think we'll see renminbi, Chinese crypto. I think we'll see Russian ruble. I think we'll see a greenback in the future. I don't know if it's in our lifetime. Could be, probable, but we will see because it's a perfect tool. Imagine you as a citizen using, American greenback as a crypto where they can actually track all your transactions, what you're spending, where you're using it, and automatically take taxes. Right? It's perfect. It's the perfect fucking vehicle for the government. From Nicola. Sorry if I butchered the name. Hey, Amir, first of all, thank you so much for contribution. Thank you. In context with ICOs, do you think an investment fund has merit starting off as an ICO? Like blockchain capital, where they did a security, so they did it all legit. Now, why would a fund just need a token? I don't know. If it's just an I don't see the use for that token, unless this is securities, which is locked up private. That's a different story. What do I do for a living besides crypto? Spend time with my family, my fiance, martial arts, a lot of psychedelics. Yeah, a lot of things. Do I think Bitcoin futures will drive the demand for Bitcoin up? Yeah, I think also Bitcoin futures might stabilize stuff too because of the shorting. So it'll be interesting. After the bubble burst, do you think it'll be? No, I actually think corrections are very, very healthy. So if you study Austrian economics, if you study Milton Friedman and Hayek and Thomas Sowell, corrections are good and happens in nature. So more corrections, the better. It creates something called, well, we call it in nature homeostatic or homeostasis within a natural ecosystem. All right, guys, I got a call coming up in 7 minutes. That's it for now. I will try to do another one of these this week at some time. But if you guys have any questions, leave the comment below this video after it goes live. Okay, peace.